Let's just dive right into this, shall we? You wake up, you measure out your expensive specialty beans, you dial in your grinder with like surgical precision, and you brew. But there's a massive blind spot sitting right in front of most beginner baristas. It's something that literally dictates exactly how your morning brew will taste, yet it's almost entirely overlooked. So today in this explainer, we're unlocking coffee's hidden chemistry. Here's the crazy thing. Your final cup of coffee? It is 98% water. Only 2% is actually coffee. I mean, despite us spending all our time, energy, and money obsessing over bean origins and the burrs on our grinders, the drink actually sitting in your mug is overwhelmingly just water. Simply put, if your water isn't right, your coffee literally can't be right.
Consider this little thought experiment. Imagine taking the exact same beans, the exact same grinder, and the exact same brewing technique, but you brew one cup in New York City and another cup in Las Vegas. You're going to get two completely different drinks. The New York cup, which is brewed with soft, natural mountain reservoir water, is going to taste bright, balanced, and clean. But that Las Vegas cup, it'll taste flat, chalky, and just dull because it uses hard, mineral-heavy water from Lake Mead. Brewing with it is basically a gamble. It's the same coffee, but a completely different flavor. Why? Well, it all comes down to water chemistry.
Section 1. Decoding water chemistry. Let's get right into it.
Now, for a long time, the mechanics behind this were kind of a mystery, but a landmark 2014 study from the University of Bath changed everything. Lead researcher Christopher Hendon discovered something absolutely crucial. He found that magnesium and calcium don't just help extract coffee flavor, they actually extract different flavors. This single paper completely revolutionized how the specialty coffee world views water.
So what exactly are these minerals doing? Well, think of the minerals in your water as little chemical tools that actively grab flavor from the coffee grounds. First up is magnesium. I actually like to call this one the flavor hunter. Magnesium has the highest binding energy for organic compounds, so it acts like a magnet, right? Actively seeking out the bright, fruity, floral, and complex notes hiding in the coffee bed. In fact, water with magnesium can pull out 35% more of these beautiful, bright compounds than pure distilled water can. That's huge. Next up, we have calcium. Now, if magnesium is the agile flavor hunter, calcium is the bodybuilder. This mineral really emphasizes the rounder, heavier flavors in your beans. It pulls out that deep chocolate sweetness, builds a much fuller mouthfeel, and it's largely responsible for creating that thick, beautiful crema on a shot of espresso.
But having those minerals to extract flavor just isn't enough on its own. You also need alkalinity, and that comes from bicarbonates. Think of bicarbonates as the acidity dial. They act as this vital flavor buffer. Basically, every 10 parts per million of bicarbonates dials back the perceived sourness of your coffee by about 15%. This is what keeps your cup perfectly balanced, ensuring the acidity is pleasant and bright instead of being aggressively sour or just completely flat.
So the absolutely crucial point here is finding the precise balance of these elements. If you try to brew with purely distilled water, you have zero minerals. Your water literally lacks the chemical tools to pull flavor from the grounds. The water just passes right through, and you end up with thin, empty, sour, under-extracted coffee. On the completely other end of the spectrum, hard water, so anything over 250 parts per million, is oversaturated with minerals. It pulls out way too much, giving you harsh, bitter, chalky, over-extracted coffee. Oh, and plus, hard water will rapidly destroy your expensive coffee machines with limescale buildup.
Oh, and before we even begin brewing, I really have to give you an urgent warning about contaminants. Chlorine and chloramine are added to municipal tap water to kill bacteria, but they will absolutely ruin your coffee before it even hits the mug. Chlorine directly bleaches espresso crema and completely masks the actual coffee flavor with these harsh, chemical, papery notes. You want absolutely none of this in your water. Zero.
Moving on to Section 2, the SCA Golden Standard and finding ideal targets.
Okay, before we actually look at the numbers, let's quickly clear up a massive point of confusion for beginner baristas. You're going to hear the abbreviation TDS thrown around a lot. It stands for Total Dissolved Solids, but there are two completely different types. Water TDS measures the minerals available in your water before brewing to actually do the extracting. Coffee TDS, on the other hand, measures the dissolved coffee after brewing, so the actual percentage of coffee that made it into the final cup. They are two entirely different measurements, so definitely keep that in mind.
So what exactly is the ideal water for brewing? Well, the Specialty Coffee Association published Standard 310, giving us these exact targets to hit. The ideal total dissolved solids is 150 milligrams per liter. Take a look at the general hardness target of 68 and the alkalinity of 40. This maps perfectly to the ideal 3-to-1 ratio of hardness to alkalinity. Basically, you have enough mineral power to pull all the good flavors and enough alkaline buffer to keep it balanced. And definitely note that chlorine target right down at the bottom. Absolute 0. No exceptions.
All right, Section 3. Upgrading your brewing water.
The whole process starts with testing. Step 1 is super simple. Buy a basic TDS meter. They are incredibly cheap, usually between $10 and $20 online. Step 2, dip it in your tap water and find your baseline. Are you within that magical 75 to 250 SCA range? Then step 3, based on whatever that number is, you decide if you need to filter your water down because it's too hard or build it up because it's too soft.
Depending on your baseline and your budget, you essentially have 5 tiers of upgrades. If your tap water naturally falls in that 75 to 175 TDS range, you're pretty lucky. A basic carbon filter like a Brita easily handles the chlorine and you're good to go. Need an easy upgrade for harder water? A BWT pitcher specifically removes scale while actively adding back in our flavor hunter, magnesium. Now, if you want total control on a budget, the DIY chemistry route costs about a penny a liter. You just add Barista Hustle's Epsom salt and baking soda recipes to distilled water. For convenience without the measuring, you can easily drop commercial packets like Third Wave Water, Aqua Code, or Lotus Drops right into pure water. And finally, the Pro Setup, an under-sink reverse osmosis system with remineralization. This is exactly what top-tier specialty cafes use.
So, here's the thing. You've spent months, maybe even years, perfecting your beans, your grind size, your brewing ratios. You've meticulously dialed in the 2%. But are you ready to finally master the 98%? Understanding and upgrading your water chemistry is quite literally the easiest, most impactful way to unlock the true flavor of your coffee. Start testing your water today and discover the hidden potential that's been waiting right there in your mug.